Hey, wives. Happy Self-Care Sunday. Look, I'm trying to adjust my tripod. Is it a tripod? I'm doing admin day downstairs today. My feet has been running since I got off of my flight. I have not sat still, trying to get caught up. Admin day is always a little bit rough for me. But I wanted to come in because one, I want to remind the ones who are connected to my email list, to stay tuned for Monday's God Says message. I have some information that I'm going to share with you about the entrepreneurship. Baby, hey, we got our book. We got the manual in full effect. Some really, really good information in here with you. So be on the lookout for that in an upcoming email tomorrow morning. For the ones who were interested in doing the cohort, which we changed from a cohort, but I am offering a VIP workshop day. So if you are connected to my email list, I'm really in this season during the summertime, especially with the promotions that I'm offering. I'm really are nurturing the ones who have been following me for a while, have been really rocking with me. The ones who been wanting to work with me and have not had a chance to. So I'm really pushing the promotions for those of the ones who may have not had the opportunity to work with me to do so. So if you are not connected to me on my email list, you can get connected with me through my website at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Also, I still do have two spots available for the ones who may be interested in the emotional healing grief sessions. For the ones who are interested in those, I still do have two spots. You may secure those dates for the month of July. I don't have any more of those days available for the month of June, but I do still have 2 days available for the month of July. And as I mentioned, once those days are secured, that promotion will basically be over. I'm really pushing the promotions in the summer months, June in particularly, because once the promotions is over, they're over. So I'm really reaching out to the ones who are interested and wanting to pursue that or take advantage of those promotions. All right, so listen. On another note, because I have been super duper busy this week. I've had a lot of sessions, which I knew this was gonna happen. But something has been standing out to me about the teaching that some wives are receiving on marital restoration. Some of the teachings that I'm hearing about from different ones about marriage restoration. I think I had shared with y'all earlier, in a year about coming on, from a prophetic point of view and why I don't advertise myself as a prophetess, because a lot of people, oh my God, a lot of people are like giving prophetic words. They're giving, a word. They got a word every day. You got people out here talking about kingdom marriages, and it's a lot of stuff out there, y'all. It's a lot of different stuff out there. And I am not here to bring judgment on anyone. I know a lot of people are, they find their inspiration, they find their encouragement, they find their support, they find their community from some of these YouTube videos, from, some of the things that's on social media, from some of these different platforms that are out there. But I want to really, really, really emphasize the importance of being mindful in this season of who you give your ear to. Be mindful, very, very mindful of who you give your ear to. We are coming into our new era. Like I spoke to you guys before earlier on in the year, and saying that we're going into a season of not just a new season, but a new era. And that season is, and that time is quickly, is quickly approaching. And because it is quickly approaching, so many false people are out here doing things. All right. So many people, false people are out here doing things, and you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. I would encourage you in this hour to turn on your discernment. I would encourage you to ask God to, help you to, decipher between what's real, what's not real, what, was authentic, was the truth, God's truth, versus somebody that's trying to give you a word, Many times wives feel like they need several people to follow, listen to, be a part of their group, be a part of their, curriculum, be a part of their course, or, what have you. And one of the things I always share with my wives is making sure that you are careful who you give your ear to, and, bringing that list down at least to 5 people or less. 5 is too many. 5 is too many. All right. If you take into consideration your home base, which is your, your church home. And this is something I actually heard a man of God speak about this earlier. He was just basically saying, how it's so important for you to make sure that even your church home, you are being fed. Even your church home, you are getting the word. Even your church home, you are actually in a place where you are not just going day by day by day, but you're actually transforming, you're actually growing, you're actually maturing. There's transformation that's taking place with you on your journey. If you are a wife and you have been standing for your marriage for over 2 years, and you are still in the same place, you need to get connected with someone who can help you. And sometimes it's not to X out the church. It's not to X out the counselor. It's not to X out the therapist. It's not to X out your YouTube videos. But sometimes wives have to push past just, I'm going to just go and find me an encouraging, video, watch that, and that it's going to be me and God, and we're going to go with it. Even with some of the wives that I work with now who actually have accountability, they actually are walking with a wife coach, they still run into blind spots. So I can only imagine that wife who is trying to do this journey on her own without no type of accountability, without no type of no type of guidance or support on this journey. They really just kind of like, out here trying to figure it out. And this goes back to why it's so important that you are connected to someone where you are actually transforming. Because if you are trying to get to that next place on your journey, if you're trying to get to that next level, sometimes that requires an investment. A lot of times people are stuck. And I think I talked about this before. So many people are stuck in the same spot or in the same place over and over again, using the excuse of, well, I don't have no money, the pandemic, messing things up. We going through a crisis right now in the world with the economy. We got all these different excuses about why you are not where you need to be at. And a lot of times is I think Pastor Dare said one time, he said, God will bless you on the level that you are on. if that's the level that you want to stay on, that's what you will be blessed at on that level. And that's me, paraphrasing. That's probably not his exact words, but he was saying something in that nature, where if you don't make a decision to go to that next level, and you okay with being mediocre, you okay with doing the same thing, you okay with not seeing any, transformation, you okay without seeing any changes, it's like, okay, well, this is where we'll be at. I was so amazed to speak to one of my clients on yesterday who, after speaking with her, she had just made a decision. Like, I had already been thanking Coach T before we even got on this, on our session, ever since you, respond back to my assessment. And from some of the things that you had been saying, I had already made a decision to do, she was going to be radical, and she was going to do a water fast. And she's like, I got to get to this next place. I'm tired of being in this place. I've been in this place, long enough, and I'm ready to get to this next place. And she was ready just based off of her filling out her assessment and then me responding back to her on that assessment. Just that little bit, without me even speaking to her, without me even speaking with her at that moment, she was able to recognize that, oh my God, I have run into some blind spots. Oh my goodness, I did not recognize, did not know I was dealing with these things. I didn't know these things was taking place with me. A lot of times, wise, you are out here on this journey and you're doing this alone, or you're watching different videos, or you're tuning into this person, or you're tuning into this person. And this is a biggie. I know y'all might not like this, but a lot of times you're going to the whoever is the cheapest. I want to go to whoever is the cheapest person that I can, get the necessary help that I need. And that's not necessarily always a good thing either. Sometimes people think if I get the cheapest deal, I have to just, work with that. But cheap does not always necessarily mean that that's the best for you, okay? Sometimes people offer, and I'm giving some of my information away from my entrepreneurs. That's in the entrepreneur manual. But sometimes when people offer different, courses or curriculums or something like cheaper, it depends on several things. It can be, it can be a numbers game. It can be, how many people that, they see in a month. It could be whatever their goal is, or it could be a lack of confidence for that coach or for that person who's offering it, because something being cheaper does not necessarily mean that it's the best. Something being cheaper does not necessarily mean like, okay, that's the best route. Sometimes something being cheaper may come off as, well, maybe, you don't really know what you're talking about, or you don't really know what you're doing, or you not confident enough in what you're offering your clients, And so I always just emphasize with wives to make sure that you are getting in the place that God is calling you to. Make sure that you are getting in alignment with who you're supposed to be called to, who you're supposed to be in tune with. You got to make a decision about who you give your ear to in this new season of your life, because what happens from here on out will make a huge difference. So I want to encourage you, one, turn up your discernment. Ask God to help you to turn up your discernment in this season. All right. Number two, if you can bring that number down, if 5 or less, and like I said, five is a lot. That's like the max. You get if you have a counsel that you're going to, if you talk to a pastor that you're seeing in the season, if you're talking to a therapist, whoever your main person is that you're talking to about your marriage. That's one. A lot of people, a lot of clients that even some of my clients, but a lot of wives that I know, they have multiple, and it's like everybody have their own different perspective on how they have their own different perspective about the marriage restoration, about the marriage journey. Everybody had their own perspective on these things, so you have to make sure that your ear is in line with the right person. Now, sometimes you can get one thing from this coach, and then this coach may offer this, and can be a help to you in this area. Okay, so that's different. Sometimes this coach may offer this and that coach don't, or that coach may offer this and this coach don't. But you do not want to be in tune with all these different voices. That will bring on a confusion spirit. That will have you kind of like leaning, on your boat. You don't really know which side you're supposed to be on. You're supposed to be on this side. You're supposed to be on that side. One of the things I'm always emphasizing to my wife clients is to make sure that you, even in your church home, you need a good church home that you plan it and base in, because you need that covering. You need your covering from your shepherd. You need some accountability. A counselor, a coach, your therapist, your pastor, some type of accountability. And then if you have that go-to on YouTube, like when you get your, morning inspiration or some daily encouragement, then you find your 1 or 2 people there. But you have to make sure that you not taking in this and you taking in this, or this person said this and this person said that. I made that mistake one time on my journey, and I was like, okay, I gotta turn all this off because this is gonna confuse me. This pastor was saying this and this pastor was saying this. I was like, I didn't know if I'm supposed to stand for my marriage, leave my marriage, go and beat my husband up, or what. You have to know. You have to know who you are in tune with. Even I, as a coach, I listen to different types of videos on YouTube as well, but I have my certain ones. And then you may have certain ones that you listen to only for a season. Like, okay, this person was working at this time of my life, but now they're not necessarily, speaking to me on, in this, on this level of my life. You have to be careful, wives. You have to be careful who you give your ear to in this hour. You have to be careful who you are tuning in. You have to be careful who you are allowing to walk with you on this journey. Do not think for once you doing this by yourself, you will not fall into some blind, walk into some blind errors. Like I said, even some of the wives that I work with currently who are actually being held accountable, they still run into blind spots. They still run into blind spots. The difference is they can say, Coach T, I had this and this and that going on. Let me know what you think, how this go, what you think about this situation. Is something I need to change about this situation? This, and the other. They have somebody that they can go back and fall on in that area, because none of us are exempt from life. None of us are exempt from error. None of us are exempt from, things happening. None of us. I share with y'all all the time. Even Coach T, I have a wife coach. I still have my wife coach for myself to keep me accountable, to hold me accountable, to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, even as a wife and as your wife coach, So it's important. It's important that you make sure that you get your ears in tune with the right person in this season. Do not try to do this on your own, wife. Do not try to continue to walk this journey on your own. You need some accountability. You need some support. You need some guidance. You need to be able to recognize when you're walking into some blind spots. And you need to make sure that some of these people and some of these things some of these people are saying, you need to be able to decipher between what's real, what's not real, what's true, what's authentic, and what's not, and what is not. And so many people are running into error because of these things. Just because it show up on your timeline does not necessarily mean that you got to listen to it or you have to watch it. just because it came up, you have to be careful. You have to guard your eye gauge, your ear gauge. You have to guard those things. You have to guard your heart. You have to guard what you say out your mouth and what you allow other people to say to you. You have to guard those things because the enemy is working overtime. He's working overtime in this season because this is your season. This is your time. This is your year. This is the time in the year that God is getting ready to do that new thing for you. All right. And I just wanted to kind of read that Bible verse. I think it's in, where's it in? See that I'm doing this new thing. Don't you see it? It's springing forth. Let me pull that up for you because I don't want to get it wrong. I've been saying the wrong thing on here. See is springing forth. This is the season that God is doing something. It's in Isaiah 43:19. And it says, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Listen, wife, don't miss your new because you're not in tune with the right person. Don't miss your new. Don't miss your new assignment because your ears are not in tune with what God is who God is calling you to. Don't miss your new, wife, in this time and in this hour because you are not in the proper place. You are not in alignment. Don't miss your new. Don't miss your new being in tune with the wrong things and not in tune with the right things. All right. And so I want to encourage you, wife, if you have not begin to do your own personal inner work and you're ready to do your inner work. Maybe you are now, you no longer, grieving that hard about your husband. You're not in a season where you want to just keep on talking about him over and over again. Now you saying, I'm ready to do my work. I'm ready to focus on me now. I'm ready to get myself together. I'm ready to get my act together. I want to encourage you to sign up for her bonus boost. I want to encourage you to sign up for your consultation. All right. You can do that at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. But if you are in a season where you are still grieving and you still do have questions and you still trying to understand the pain, you still trying to understand why your husband is in this place, if you're still trying to understand what your husband got going on, and why he decided to leave the marriage, and why God is allowing these types of things to take place. If you have those kind of questions, I want to encourage you to sign up for your emotional grief healing sessions. Okay, you can sign up at the same website, www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. The emotional grief healing sessions are the ones that I have 2 available days for in the month of July for the discount, for the promotion. Like I said, once those days are secured, the promotion will be over. All right. If you're not connected with me through my website, I want to encourage you to get connected with me. Take advantage of these promotions before they end. All right. Listen, wife, I hope y'all have an awesome and amazing rest of your Sunday. I'll talk to you soon. Blessings.